Hi everyone, welcome to Meeple Bits. I'm Ryan Novak. The world is coming to an end. We must act now to survive. Players are the most powerful leaders in the world, working alongside up to 9 others to build a starship. Time is short. The goal, be on the starship that escapes the dying world, or betray everyone to ensure your own survival. No seats on the starship are guaranteed. We're Doomed is a quick-timed, panic-inducing game of international collaboration, retaliation, diplomacy, conspiracy, and blowing each other up for fun. Designed by Mike Horton, published by Breaking Games for 4 to 10 players with a playtime of 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and dive into We're Doomed and see if we can survive the impending apocalypse. Welcome to We're Doomed, a game again for 4 to 10 players. I'm going to go and run through the different actions and things that can happen over the course of this game that is played in a hard 15 minutes. The game is played in phases. The take action phase, let's see if I can get this to focus. Well, I am such a professional. I know. So the take action phase, starting with the first player, each player then takes one action. The contribute phase, bid to be the top contributor by placing the most resources in the project, represented by the box. And events. The top player who contributes draws and plays the event card, then starts the next round. Event cards here, different government types here, and winning conditions. When the time runs out, count the resources contributed to the project, and the number of production resources determine how many players can survive. A minimum of 40 is what you need for at least one player to be able to get off the planet. Every 10 after that will be one more person. I'm going to go ahead and set up a game for 4 players, and the different governments that we have out here are democracy, theocracy, corporatocracy, and autocracy? Autocracy. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use this for a demonstration. The different actions in phase 1, as I indicated, are here on each of your individual cards. You may produce, which is to gain 2 resources from the white bag. You may indoctrinate, which is gain 1 influence from the black bag. Propagandize, you may spend 1 resource to steal 1 influence from a player. So once you've collected resource, white, you may steal black from another player. Invade, spend 1 influence, black, to steal 2 resources from another player, white. And nuke. Autocracy, this is their highlighted special action. Spend 5 resources to eliminate a player, basically nuking them, instead of the 8 that it normally takes for the rest of the players. On the other side, which is what is going to be facing the other players, will tell you that this person only needs 5 resources for a nuke, whereas corporatocracy, their highlighted action is instead of they get to steal 1 influence, the black bag, from a player for free, whereas everyone else needs to spend resources, as indicated also here. Propagandize for free. Theocracy gets to gain 2 influence of 1 when drawing from the black bag. Gain 2 influence as indicated here. And then democracy gets to steal 2 resources from a player for free, also indicated here. The game will play over the course of 15 minutes when this timer goes down. This represents the production pool. Here are your event cards. So we'll play as autocracy. I'll set the game up for everyone else around the table like so. And there we go. One more thing. First player chip. I'll be first player. The rules of the game indicate that the player who grabs the timer first is actually the first player. But for demonstration purposes, I'm the only player here today. So no matter what way you slice it, I'm going to be the first person. So what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to do, as I mentioned, one of those actions. as represented on your card. Once everyone has taken an action, we're going to contribute resources to the project, and then the person who contributes the most is going to be declared. In the cases of ties, players around the table will, on a count of, say, 3, 2, 1, will point to a person that they want to be the winner of that round, and they will be declared first player, they will then get the first player token. They will be able to gain 1 influence from the bag, and then they'll draw an event card. Event cards. There are 2 types: secret, as represented in black, and white, which are public ones that you must read aloud, as indicated here. Let's see if I can get this to focus properly. Good enough, I guess. So on the public read aloud, leftist movement, for the next take action phase, instead of taking their own actions, each player decides the action of the player to their left. So that's interesting that you then get to declare what others are going to do. A secret action, or event rather, expose doctored documents. You may discard this card when another player propagandizes you to prevent them from taking any influence. Take 3 influence from them instead. So if you were to draw up one of these, you would keep it face down until it's time to use, and everyone would know it's a secret. The rest, you'll read aloud as you draw them, and then play will continue. The first player will then get passed, and the rounds will go. So let's go ahead and do a quick game of We're Doomed. All right, so on my first action for myself, I'm going to go ahead and take 2 production. Now, it's important to also note that resources must always be in view for all other players. I would pass this bag to the next person, and let's say Democracy, they want to go ahead and draw 2 as well. Passing the bag over to Theocracy, they're going to go ahead and draw 2 influence as indicated by their special. And then Corporatocracy, which I've already apparently destroyed, they're also going to draw up 2 resources, putting it right there. And that's the end of the round. So you would stop play, everyone has taken an action, and now it's time to contribute. So look, everyone, one at a time, we'll just throw in, or not one at a time, rather, you just throw in and declare how many you're going to put into the project. Autocracy is going to put 2 in there. They're not really threatening to nuke anyone just yet. And you know what? Democracy and Corporatocracy is going to hold on to their resources for now. They're not quite ready to put into the project. So I remain player 1. I get to take 1 influence from the bag, putting it into my resource pool, and then I draw up the top event card. This is a public. Deny everything. All players may now conceal their influence. They do not have to reveal how much they have when asked, but must show them if they are propagandized. Keep this card face up. So we'll go ahead and keep this card face up, and now everyone, as indicated, gets to hide their resources. Okay. So, starting for next, I'm going to go ahead and take 1 more influence. Passing the bag, Democracy is going to go ahead and take 2 production. Theocracy is going to take 2 production on their turn. And then Corporatocracy is also going to take 2 production. And then that ends the round once again. So looking at everything, starting with me, I can't throw anything to contribute, but Democracy has decided that they stocked up 4, so they're going to go ahead and toss them into the project. Theocracy is still going to sit on their 2 that they've just acquired, and Corporatocracy still not ready to give to the greater good. Surprise, surprise. Making Democracy player 1, since they've contributed the most, gaining 1 influence. Now I'm putting everything behind because this card remains active for the rest of this game, so we get to basically sit there and do that. And then drawing an event card. It's a secret. Democracy. You may discard this card after a player launches a nuke to prevent anyone from being nuked or eliminated by it. Interesting thing for Democracy to get as a secret event. Now they're going to start. Go ahead and grab, you know what? For demonstration purposes, let's go ahead and spend our 1 influence. Oops, no, here we go. We're going to spend, let's see, steal 2 resources. You know what? Let's steal 2 resources. Democracy is seeing corporatocracy hoarding some resources, so they're going to go ahead and say, I steal 2 from you, and it costs them nothing. Theocracy, they're going to spend 1 influence, putting it back into the bag, to also steal 2 from corporatocracy. Seeing that they weren't yet contributing, might as well go ahead and take it from them. And then corporatocracy, seeing now that they've got no influence or production left, well, they got to probably get some influence in hopes of maybe being one of the seats on the ship. And that's the turn. So everyone's going to go ahead and look around and contribute to the project. Democracy is going to sit on there 2. Theocracy has 4. Corporatocracy none, and autocracy none. No one's going to contribute this round, which will trigger everyone to vote for who they want to be the first player. So everyone's going to point to whoever they want. Let's pick Theocracy this turn. Theocracy now becomes the first player. They will get 1 influence token, and then they'll draw up an event card. Scorched Earth, another secret. You may discard this card when you invade a player to steal all of their resources instead of just 2. That's a pretty interesting one. So keep that as a secret, and then they're going to pull up 2 more resources as their turn. Corporatocracy is going to go ahead and, let's see, they get to propagandize for free, which is steal 1 influence from a player. Corporatocracy sees that Theocracy has probably hoarded up some influence, so they're going to go ahead and steal 1 from them. I'm going to go ahead and take 2 resources here, and Democracy is going to do the same. This game can get pretty intense when there's up to 10 players at the table, which definitely proves for some excitement. There we go, adding that. End of the round, everyone's going to then contribute. I'm not ready to contribute anything just yet. Democracy, they've hoarded 4, and so now they're ready to do their contributions. Once I can get them off the table, there we go. And you know what, Theocracy, not to be outdone, they're going to go ahead and contribute 5 to the production, 1-upping Democracy. There we go. So Theocracy remains first player. They get yet 1 more influence, and they have to draw up 1 more event card. Another secret. Psychological warfare. Nod thoughtfully. Place this card face down in front of any player. If anyone looks at this card, discard it. So this is kind of just one of those I get a pass sort of thing, so there's nothing major happening. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in front of Democracy here. And if they were to say, pick up the card, most people instinctually would probably pick it up, look at it, and then look at it and then discard it. So we'll go ahead and discard that card right away. All right, Theocracy's turn once again. They're going to go ahead and take 2 more influence into their pool. 2 more. Corporatocracy, they too are going to grab 1. If you notice, Corporatocracy hasn't really contributed much anything to our production. They're sitting on the sidelines, and, well, Autocracy's not liking it too much. 2 more production, and Democracy's going to do the same. 2 more production. End of the turn. Looking around, everyone's going to sit on their production just for a moment. No one wants to contribute anything. So everyone will glance around and point at, here we go. Autocracy is going to be first player. Moving the token, giving 1 more influence, and then drawing up another event card. Another secret. You know what? Let's get a public one. There we go. A lot of randomization in this one, but for sake of demonstration, let's do this. Property tax. The owner of this game may immediately take 6 tokens from other players of the project, or if the owner has been eliminated, they may return to the game. As you'll see here, there's a little Gen Con 2019 logo on this. This was one of those Gen Con exclusive cards that I was able to acquire, which this is how I kind of discovered this game. So for demonstration purposes, let's go ahead and use that card and discard it. So I am the owner, and I may take 6 tokens from the other players or the project. I'll take it from the project. So 2, 4, 6. Okay, and now on to, and that was actually the event, so it's now my turn. I'm going to go ahead and draw up 2 more productions. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. That's not what I want to do on this turn. You know what? Corporatocracy has been pissing me off. They haven't really been doing a whole lot of anything, so I'm going to go ahead and spend my 5 resources. burning them up. User error. Sorry about that, guys. Microphone hat. Burning up 5 resources to nuke corporatocracy. Now, democracy, as we saw, has this, and they can prevent it from happening. But you know what? They too saw that corporatocracy wasn't doing much of anything. So, they are eliminated from the game. Democracy's turn. Let's check our timer here. We've probably got about a solid 10 minutes left. So they're going to go ahead and grab an influence. They're going to grab 2 production. And then that's the round. Contribution time. I'm going to go ahead and put in all 5 of my remaining resources. They're going to throw in there 2 just to show that they are contributing. And Theocracy is going to put in there 3. So I've contributed the most once again, so I'll get 1 more influence. Draw up the next event card. Let's grab from the middle of the deck, whatever this one might be. Secret. Exposed doctored documents. You may discard this card when another player propagandizes you to prevent them from taking any influence. Take 3 influence from them instead. So that'll be pretty nice if someone tries to steal any of my influence. I'll show them. So the game will continue until the timer runs down. Once the timer is down, the game immediately ends. There is no everyone gets another turn, or I'm not ready yet, or there's not even going to be another contribution phase. So what you want to try to do is hurry up and take your turns as quickly as possible so that you can contribute to the project as much as possible. So if the game ends while everyone is still taking their action, again, it is over, no more contributions can be had, then you're going to immediately count the number of production that remain in the project, and then see how many people survive. And in our game, there's only 3 of us left because I nuked corporatocracy off the planet because they weren't contributing to the cause. So looking inside of the bucket, we didn't, in this demonstration, contribute 30, but there's a strong possibility that if I were to play through the full thing, we would have. But that's basically the game. This is a really fun party game, guys, and I hope you've enjoyed it, even though it's a short demonstration. Welcome back, everyone. So that's We're Doomed. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. One thing that I forgot to mention while going through the explanation, and sorry about that, influence matters because it determines who gets a seat on the ship. So let's say there's only 1 seat available. The person with the most influence is actually going to be the one that gets off the planet. If there's 2 seats, then the top 2 influencers get it. And if there's a tie for that, then the remaining players that are alive vote on, or rather everyone around the table would vote who they think should get the seat on the table. So that's We're Doomed. As you saw through the playthrough, there was a Gen Con 2019 exclusive card, which is where I was at when I discovered this game. I kind of was hanging out waiting for a demo of a different game, and I saw 10 players around a table seemingly having a pretty good time, so it kind of made me perk up a little bit, and I was like, what's going on over there? So I thought to check it out, and then after sitting down and playing it, I was like, man, that's a pretty solid party game, something that I think everyone would enjoy around my table. So I went ahead and picked it up and got the promo card while there. So We're Doomed plays in a hard 15 minutes. That's the other thing that I really like about this game is that after 15 minutes, the game is done. So there isn't any major length to it, and you could dive right into another one. The other thing that I really like about it is there's a lot of event cards. So it'll be hard pressed for me to really ever get through the bulk of them, which is pretty cool. The drawback of the game that I really didn't care much for was the chits. It's really hard to grab them not only out of the bag, but then off of the table, which does waste valuable time. And maybe that's by design because, again, you're passing the 2 bags around the table and everyone is, pulling them out as quickly as they can. But I think maybe having some depth to those tokens would greatly benefit the game overall. I'm sure they probably didn't do it that way so they could keep costs down a little bit, but just one small gripe. Otherwise, Really a fun game to play. A lot of hysterical things do happen that can come up. One such card that I think is pretty neat is it's a public card, and you got to keep it face up, and the whole time you have to keep your finger on the card like it's a death switch or kill switch. So if you ever die, then I think something else happens. So then as the bag comes to you, you have to try to pull out your tokens with one hand. Another one that had come up was someone had to actually hold the card on top of their head. So there's some fun, quirky things going on, which really add to the replayability. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the playthrough of We're Doomed. If you're looking for a new party game for your collection, I definitely recommend it, just because of the time factor and the fun that everyone had playing it. That's all for now. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Happy to answer further. Until next time, guys. Thanks so much for watching.